What's up, NFL fans, Bills fans, um, just fans in general? This is more of AFC topic, but it is a Bills related topic. But it's also going to be, featuring another team more centered around, I should say. Who's the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs? They are clearly the top dog in the AFC. They've been the representative in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. They're led by Patrick Mahomes, who is, undeniably as talented anybody's ever seen at the quarterback position. I mean, the weapons that he has around him, it's just unbelievable speed, football speed. It's a difference to have track speed and then it translates to the football field. But Tyreek Hill is the best track athlete I've seen play football in my life, and I've seen Willie Gold and James Jett who were on the Olympic teams in in track, and Tyreek Hill is phenomenal. I mean, he could have legitimately been an Olympic track athlete if he focused his energy solely on that. And then Travis Kelsey, who's you know top three tight end all time easily, revamped offensive line. So their team, coached by Andy Reid, who's been there and done that in every which way, is very very much the lead dog. And my favorite team, the Buffalo Bills, who got beat by the Kansas City Chiefs, I feel are still right there. They made some improvements, but who's the other team? Who's that third team? Who's that other team that's a threat to the Kansas City Chiefs? And I submit that it's the team that the Kansas City Chiefs played the week before they played the Bills, and that's the Cleveland Browns. Um, Much like the Bills, Lake Erie team, much closer to Lake Erie, having playing right there. Very similar stories. Drafting quarterbacks in 18, hopefully that they would change their franchises for the better after being in the doldrums for so long, especially at that position. But in general, I think Cleveland has definitely suffered a lot worse than the Bills. Bills fans, Cleveland fans, their franchise, the 0 and 16, the 1 and 15, just the missed draft picks, the bad regimes. They had an ownership change. You name it. They've had their franchise taken away. It just Red Right 88, the fumble, the drive, whatever. It just they've had. I mean, if there's one franchise Bills fans, the Cleveland Browns have had it. And I remember I went there. Quick little story before I get into the video. I went there in 18 in August. I wanted to see the Bills play the Browns for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, I wanted to see what, here's Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Tyrod Taylor, who had formerly been with the Bills on the field at the same time in the same game. And I just wanted to see, what it looked like in the flesh. Fans were super, super nice. The stadium was super easy to get to. Um, and it was a really, really good experience, and I enjoyed it. It's a place I would definitely go back to again. Really, really friendly people, and again, the accessibility from the airport to the stadium was super easy. But anyway, I definitely see the Browns as being a threat, uh, and for the one reason, for actually a couple of reasons, they have something the Bills don't have. And actually, two things. They have an elite pass rusher. I mean, Miles Garrett is the best defensive end in the NFL right now, just from a physical standpoint, a talent standpoint. Um, he had the battle with the COVID last year, and that slowed him down. He was taking a lot of rests late in games, but just his ability to disrupt a game is undeniable. Um, then their offensive line, in conjunction with their run game, mainly designed by Bill Callahan, it's amazing. I love it. I love the power run game. I'm a big fan of it. It's just he does so many good things. I knew they do some zone runs and they do some power, but Nick Chubb is just my favorite. His best runs always come late in games, and those are my favorite running backs. Guys that just wear on defenses and just put the dagger with the long one late. And Nick Chubb having had that injury in college at Georgia and to have the career that he's having in the NFL is just an amazing story. And he's just my if I could build a running back. That's why I was such a big fan of Javonte Williams. And if the Bills would have invested a draft pick and a running back in the second round and it was him, I would have been happy. Just that's the kind of running back I want. I don't like those cute guys. I like those hammers who can definitely run past, over, or around guys, and just you can pick up a backer on third down. Just I and for those reasons, I think they're the biggest threat because if they get a lead, they can hold a game with that run game, and then unleash a pass rusher like Garrett. But they're going to have a lot of questions too, as Cleveland Brown fans know. What is the return of OBJ going to do to that offense? Because I'm here in North New Jersey, and I seen how he is. I remember with the Giants, it was like you have to give him the ball. It's he needs the ball. It's like a guy who wants his touches. I want my touches. And I know a lot of Cleveland fans felt like the offense was better without him, and that Baker spread the ball around better. He worked in Higgins. He worked the tight ends. And Joku, they made a big investment in Hooper. They got the running game with Hunt, and Chubb is as good as it is in the NFL. And also, is he going to add? Is he going to know to, like, I don't want to mess up a good thing? Or is it just going to be like, hey, I'm the guy who's going to put this over the top. Let me, because his injury was freak in Cincinnati. It was a really weird injury. Baker threw a pick. He kind of went back to try to tackle the guy and tore his ACL. Great game too, by the way. Really great game. Really good game between him, Baker, Mayfield, and Joe Burrow. It was really entertaining to watch. But in also another question for the Browns is that defense. How are all those new additions with some returning ones? Because it's almost like they get their 20 draft class back. And even a piece of their 19 draft class, because Greedy Williams did not play last year. I believe he had some weird nerve issue where he had it was a dead arm or something. It wasn't awake, and it was. But apparently he's up and practicing, moving around, and at least he's there. Unlike last year, those rookies had no meetings last year. They had no rookie mini camps, no veteran, no none of that stuff. So they had a much more normal year, as normal as could be. And they added a lot of pieces on defense, a lot, and a lot of really good ones that on paper. Newsome, was it K O J J J O K? I don't know the Notre Dame linebacker who's an amazing chess piece. Wow, what an interesting guy. Like, what an interesting type of player to have on your defense. Can move around, can play here, there. It's going to be interesting to see how they deploy him because I know their linebacking core is definitely a question mark. Mac Wilson hasn't really panned out. They had some other guys here and there like Phillips, but nothing impactful. And I know they added Anthony Walker from the Colts. So how all those pieces tessellate together is going to be really, really fascinating. Oh, Grant Delpit in their secondary too, who's not known as much of a tackler, but a ball hawk at safety. So they have a lot of pieces on defense that they've added, and it's going to be, again, I know I reuse this phrase a lot, very interesting to see how they all just come together if they do it all. And even on their defensive line, they get back Andrew Billings, who opted out due to COVID. They added Jadeveon Clowney. The Ohio State defensive tackle Toane, or let's say his name right. He was a really, really strong guy. I liked him. I had liked him for the Bills, but he ended up getting drafted by the Browns. So they've added some really, really. They just really went defensive heavy, similar to the Bills. Very defensive heavy draft at the top. Just throughout, more so than the Bills even. And for the one thing Cleveland has to do to end up really truly being that third team, which I feel they can be, because I think Mayfield at the end of a game is a better passer than Lamar Jackson. They have to get over the Baltimore hump. That's the team that has, and Cleveland fans will admit this, it has their number. They got over that Pittsburgh hump, much like the Bills had to get over that Patriot hump. They got over that. And granted, it was without Tom Brady, but it had to happen one day, and it's going to happen with Pittsburgh, and it happened with Roethlisberger, and I know that must have been enjoyable for you Cleveland Brown fans. But they got over that hump. Now they have to get over that Baltimore hump. They have to just get that monkey off their back and beat that team. No matter how ugly of a game or sexy of a game, they just have to go toe-to-toe with that team and beat them. They came close. Crazy situation. You guys know when Lamar left the game and everybody speculated as to why he left, and then he came back in and threw the touchdown to Hollywood Brown. It just, again, all those defensive additions, you have to feel it's like, look, they want to win that division and at least be able to host a playoff game in Cleveland as opposed to, having to go on the road. But I definitely think just because of the things I said earlier, the way they're built right now anyway, they're the third best team in the AFC, or the next best threat to the Cleveland Browns, to the Cleveland Browns, to the Kansas City Chiefs. Because I think I have to give a lot of credit to that regime, Sashi Brown and the coach, that, it just, what a great job to be able to turn that around. And I wasn't really mad about him winning, coach of the year, because what was, that had been such a crazy situation for so long, such instability, the whole thing with Freddie Kitchens is embarrassing, and just the list goes on. You guys know this guy who continuously pops up and says he wanted to draft this guy, he wanted to draft, Hugh Jackson, just clowns like that. And for Stefanski to come in and just settle that down, just calm it down in a situation like was with last year with this COVID stuff. I mean, him winning the NFL, was it the coach? I hats off to him, man. And you guys deserved it, because that must have felt really, really good to have a competitive team on the field, a team that you felt, proud to watch every week, be confident that they could, stay in and win games, and just be fun to watch. That must have been great. But anyway, guys, I'm going to drop it right there. Let me know what you think of the video. I'm going to start doing more of these videos about different NFL teams other than the Bills here and there. Here and there, I'm stick mainly to Bills, but let me know what you guys think of this one. But anyway, good luck to you guys in the AFC North, but always go Bills. But anyway, finally get over that Baltimore hump, definitely, and make it a more competitive playing field for you guys. Peace.